Hey everybody, welcome to Gimme A Song. My name is Jeff Phipps. I am your host as always. I bring on industry people such as musicians, comedians, people, trying to make a name for themselves, people who have made a name for themselves, stuff like that. I ask them to give me a song, and then we talk about that song, and then I give them a song, and we talk about that. Anyway, today I have on
Matthew Banks.
Hello, Matthew. We are good friends. We've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, it's very long.
So I have to do a sponsor read to start the show. I have never seen this before. These sponsor ads just get emailed me beforehand. I print them out on the top of the lyrics.
Okay.
And so this is it.
And now, a word from today's sponsors.
Hey, remember Little Flippy? The East Hampton Raptor who got shot 34.67 times in 2003? Well, Merck Records, in conjunction with K-Tel Records, is releasing Little Flippy Remembered. With such hits as the club banger Up in the Club and My Wife Don't Know, and his other big hit, I Cheat on My Wife. Enjoy other hits of Little Flippy as well. Songs like My Wife Would Never and My Wife, She's So Dumb. We even brought in Dr. Dre to complete the last song he recorded before his mysterious and unsolved murder, My Wife Couldn't Shoot Fish in a Barrel While Right Next to the Barrel. So, hit up your favorite streaming service or visit the website now to get Little Flippy's greatest hit record, I'll Never Die, today. You remember Little Flippy? You remember those songs?
Yeah.
Yeah, really tragic. I can't believe they didn't solve the mystery of his murder because it seemed like pretty clear what was going down. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, if you think about other rappers in the past, that murders still haven't been solved.
Yeah, Biggie, Tupac, stuff like that.
Yeah, it seems par for the course.
Yeah. So. But I mean, it kind of seems like he's outlining who may have done it the entire time.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know.
You can't.
Sometimes, people talk about rap being metaphorical. Like I'm not really saying these things. I'm not really out in these streets. It's a metaphor. Or, I'm what was it? I think like NWA called themselves street reporters when they first came out. Remember?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we're not really like this, know.
Yeah, what about 2 Live Crew? Do you think that was the same thing? They were just reporting?
No, I think 2 Live Crew was actively engaged in all activities that they were saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it seemed metaphorically, but
talk about 2 Live Crew, which you did not give me the song to. It seemed like when we were kids, like they were never going to go away. And I guarantee you, maybe like 1/10 of the people on the planet know who 2 Live. Maybe not even that.
You could ask the University of Miami as well, too.
Right. Well, I'm sure they're very familiar with them. Doesn't he like give them money or something like that? Like he's still like, yeah. And who knows where all of Luke Skywalker. Remember he called himself Luke Skywalker to start, and then George Lucas was like, "No, not on my watch." No, that's enough of that. And then what is his real? What is he? What is it? Luther Campbell, right?
Yeah, Campbell,
Luke Campbell. Like, yeah. And he was like, no, I'm here. And then there was what was the other guy? Marquise. Something like that.
One of them passed away, I think.
Well, not Luke, obviously.
Not Luke, but one of them did. I can't remember.
Right.
But yeah,
it was 2 Live Crews, so now it's just Live Crew.
Yes.
And then his son went on a football scholarship at one point too. Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember.
And that's when he like opened up the checkbook to Miami. Yeah. Good times, man.
Yeah, very memorable band. They had a lot to offer the community, and they gave back to the community in many ways.
Do you enjoy listening to 2 Live Crew? Honestly,
when I was young, I was fascinated by it. Now that I've gotten older, I'm like,
I couldn't listen to it then.
Yeah.
Like when they were like, Me So Horny, all that stuff. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
I was just like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And I like Miami bass, like if you get it, but it's like you've got to be able to give a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I think I think the songs were all like club bangers, so you dance to them, and so that I think when you think
I wasn't in the club.
Yeah, well, it was one of those situations like, oh, I could dance to this, but when you sit back, hey, they just talked about that,
yeah,
and I'm like, oh. But I mean, they help promote getting parental advisory and then get the explicit lyrics. They've helped put that little label.
They were more than willing to do it because they were like, we don't want your kids listening. But what they were really saying is, hey, kids, look at this big neon flashing sign that we have saying, don't listen to this.
Don't look at me.
Wink, wink, wink.
But I never owned any Two Live Crew stuff. So
The only clubs I was going to at this time, and I did actually go to the clubs and stuff like that, were like these weird techno goth clubs.
jeez.
Right.
Yeah.
So like Depeche Mode and all that stuff I talked about in the
Okay,
podcast
like
previously.
an Eyes
Like
Wide
I was
Shut type,
I
huh?
would no.
Okay.
But it was just kind of like a bunch of pale white dudes and white girls, like just kind of not just like nodding in a corner.
Oh, okay.
Like listening, like I said, Depeche Mode, industrial stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Just weird times, you know. And then I would go home and listen to rap music like almost exclusively.
So
know?
you were like living a double life.
I was living a double life.
Oh,
I
that's
lived
okay.
3 or 4 different lives at the same time. I think I'm kind of living like one now, you know, doing this stuff, and then, you know, I still got my job, and I'm trying to transition into other things.
yeah.
And, you know,
have a lot going on for yourself. So I'm
I
very
am extremely
happy for
busy.
you.
Thank you, Matthew Banks. You are a dear friend of mine,
Yes.
and I'm
Likewise,
so
Jeff.
so glad to have you. What do you do?
So I'm a teacher in the St. Louis community, band director, and I've been teaching now 21 years, and it's been a blessing
Yeah.
for me. So
What would you say your biggest accomplishment is?
I would say my opportunity to perform on Broadway.
Okay.
That was a dream when I was young.
Yeah.
When I was young, it was the opportunity to perform on Broadway and be able to be a part. We won a Tony Award. We were able to get a Grammy and an Emmy Award. So for the show,
I'm glad you. I was going to bring this up immediately, so I'm glad you did. There's a thing called the EGOT.
yeah,
And so it is an Oscar, Emmy, Tony, and Grammy,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
EGOT, so Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
proper order. And
Yeah.
there's a Wikipedia page of people who have actually nailed all 4.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like 20 people. It's
Yeah.
actually far more than that, but it's like
Yeah.
people who have gotten this because people like you could sneak in, not you specifically,
Yeah.
but
my show that I was part of.
Right.
The show won.
but
awards.
musicians
Yes.
have a far greater chance of hitting it
Yeah.
than like an
Actors,
actress.
yes.
Yeah, and I think that's the Oscar is the hardest one to get
Yeah.
because it's either for your case it had to be best song,
Yeah.
performing on a best song, or becoming an actor tomorrow. And
Yeah.
no offense,
No,
no one's
Hey.
casting banks in anything.
No, and that's the path that God has led me on, and I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah, you're happy not doing acting roles.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad
Because
to be
I remember being up till 2 or 3 a.m. listening to you complain on how your auditions were just going terrible. And what can I do, Jeff? I'm like, have you tried emoting? Have you tried, becoming the character? And you're like, I just don't know how to do that. You know?
that was a phase that I never knew of, but it's it's one of those things that I dream. Yeah.
Oh, they say if your dreams aren't big enough that how does the phrase go? If people aren't laughing at your dreams aren't big enough.
Yeah.
And so you've heard that before, right?
Yes, yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. So yeah, like you'll get that Oscar one day. It's just funny to
And
me.
if I don't,
and if
that's
you don't,
okay.
it's not funny to me. I think it's a great accomplishment. It's just kind of funny that it's like. We have a friend of ours, Jason McClellan, who was like an extra in The Outsiders because he lived in Tulsa when they filmed it.
Yes.
And I always gave him a hard time about it. And he's just a normal guy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, he doesn't, it's just very
Broadcasting.
assuming he doesn't, he does and he doesn't.
Yeah.
There's like, it's the subtlety on how he brings it up. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, by the way, people start talking about Tulsa and he's like, oh, when I was a kid, I was in The Outsiders.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me and him, it's been like a running joke. One year, I got him a copy of The Outsiders and I had him sign it.
Oh,
And then I wrapped
That's
it and
really cool.
And I wrapped it and gave it to him.
yeah, that's really very cool. I like that.
Yeah. Or they had C. Thomas Howell at the theater down the street.
Yeah.
Like doing a screening and answering questions about The Outsiders recently. People love The Outsiders.
Yeah.
Like really do.
I remember I watched it one time just because it was one of the movies, but I haven't.
Yeah.
I need to probably go revisit it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. What was the show? I can never remember.
So the
the
show was called Blast.
Okay.
And it's still touring, but it's touring over in Japan. Like they just finished up the tour this past summer. But before I was part of the Broadway show.
You were part of the original.
I was part of the original Broadway show.
Yeah.
There was an original London cast, and there was original Broadway, and then I was also part of the North American tour.
Okay. How long did that go?
For me, it went from 2000 to 2004. And then that's when I decided I didn't want to live in a suitcase.
Yeah.
And, like, I like to have a life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, a lot of people say, oh, that's great. You can do it forever. It's like, it is. It's a good opportunity.
You could do it forever. What's funny, like, people who don't travel as part of their job
yes,
have no idea what it's like to travel part of their job.
No.
I was in Cleveland on the weekend I graduated from getting my master's degree.
Yes.
And instead of going to the ceremony, we went to Cleveland to go catch a concert.
Okay.
And go catch the Cleveland Guardians play.
And did you see Drew Carey?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
I was looking everywhere, but apparently I didn't find him. And they were like, we need you in Chicago tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
If you want to go. Like, you don't have to, but like we do need you there to like cover something. So instead of driving home with the family, I flew to Chicago.
Okay.
With like the clothes and like the suitcase I had.
Oh, man.
And I was there for like 2 days, and then I flew back home from Chicago. But it was just like one of those things. It's like, okay, well, you know, you get a per diem, you get these things, you know.
Yeah, but
they take care of you, but then you're like, you're going home to a hotel.
Yeah.
That's boring.
Yeah.
And then you don't really, and then you can go find something to do, but that's trouble.
Yes,
So it's
yes.
like, you know, you just don't realize like how mundane it is too,
Well,
because
you
you're
just-
working during the day,
Yes.
and then okay, now I got to go find dinner, and
Yeah.
so you're trying to figure like where's a good place to eat. 2/3 of the time, it won't be a good meal.
Yeah.
And then you go to bed and you get right up and you do the same thing in a different city, but it looks the same to you because it's the same restaurants,
Yes.
it's the same hotels, it's the same thing. And for 4 years, it's like people wanted to be like touring comics.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a dream. It's cool that you have that dream, but like I don't have that dream. Like not at my age. Maybe when I was like younger, you know.
It does become like Groundhog Day because like every Monday was a travel day.
Yeah.
And it's like you only get like with the particular show I was doing, we only got like 2 weeks off a year because most of the holidays where people's like, oh, you get it's like, no, I'm performing on those
Yeah.
holidays. So it's
Right. No, especially those holidays because
Yeah.
those are like some of the biggest shows of the year.
Yeah.
One of our former students that we had together, Robert Crenshaw.
Yes, Robert
Is
good dude.
in the Temptations right now, and he's a part of they just came to St. Louis.
Oh, that's really awesome.
And
Okay.
you know, he's like one of the main cast members on the touring production of the
Wow.
Temptations show.
That's a blessing, and he deserves it.
Oh,
so.
he absolutely deserves it.
Yeah.
Kid is great.
Yeah.
And such a great personality, and he's
Yes.
just built for it. You know, an amazing tap artist, an
Yeah.
amazing singer.
Yes.
You know, a triple threat, if you will.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that's what you need to be successful in the entertainment business. Like
No,
that.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for you to do it 4 years, man, I couldn't fathom it.
Yeah, it was Groundhog Day, and but like I said, it was great at the time. But after a while, it's like you know you get tired of living out of a suitcase, and the things I missed the most was you know Thanksgiving with my family.
Yeah.
and it was like, man, I was sure like some of Mom's sweet potato pie.
Right.
And
I would have
can-
said like Christmas or Easter or something like that, but you immediately went
yeah.
to the one with all the food.
Yes, that is correct. Because Christmas is fun, and
Yeah.
Christmas was at our time at house. Christmas was more about serving
Yeah.
than others. You know, Mom was like, you know, don't think about just getting gifts.
Yeah.
How can we serve others? So that was when Mom and Dad was really big on that because it became so. Like, what are we going to get for Christmas?
Right.
And it's like, well, there's other people that don't have what we have. So they really brought that into life for me.
Oh, that
but
was nice of them.
Thanksgiving was more of a family thing. It's just,
Yeah, no,
and
I'm
we
just
sit-
giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course. I used to tell the students that we would get gifts from the Thanksgiving turkey.
Yes.
And we put them inside the turkey.
Thanksgiving.
And because we were Native Americans, that we celebrated,
yes.
we had gift exchange, and we'd have gifts inside the turkey, and you would pull them out and open them at the Thanksgiving table, and probably 6 out of the 10 students in any given classroom
would fall for it.
Oh, absolutely. And they'd be like, "What'd you get for Thanksgiving this year, Mr. Phipps?" And I'd be like, I would just lie. I'm like, I got a nice shirt.
I was like, you were hoping you would Google at some point in your life.
You would just like not believe me. I would tell the kids at the beginning of the year, I'm like, everything, when I'm not at the board, 99% of what I'm saying is a lie. And our assistant principal, who's still there, was like, "Are you really telling people this?" And I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "Are you really doing this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "And I'm also tenured."
So if we want to fight this battle,
right?
Yeah. So that's
Or one of the students is like, "You'd never lie to me, Mr. Phipps," and I'm like, I don't lie to people I don't love." And I was like, "You never have to worry about it," and that got me called down to the principal's office. Because it was kind of,
it's like,
and it was always the same thing. "Are you really telling these kids this?" And I was like, "I am." And they're like, "Do you think this is appropriate?" And I'm like, "I'm tenured." I'm like,
as they scrambled up,
and I was the building rep,
Yeah.
so like the building steward, the union representation. I was that guy.
Yes.
So it's like, who you gonna snitch on to? It's like, oh, do I need to be in this meeting? I guess I do.
Yeah.
Like, which hat do you want me to have on right now? The guy you're trying to get in trouble, or the guy who knows all the rules? I'll tell you what, though, being the building steward, and I hate to say this out loud, and so teachers will know that, like, when you are the building steward, sometimes you have to tell them how to get rid of somebody.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, here's what you can actually do.
Yeah.
And here's how you actually set somebody up.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I agree with you that they need to go.
Yes.
But at the same time, I have to protect their rights and interests.
Yes.
To the letter.
Yeah.
But here's your
because they're
ends.
being detrimental to the kids.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that happens every so often. But it's
Yeah.
like, I will help you get rid of them, but you're going to do it by the book. And it's going to take you a year. But
so.
I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you do it.
Well,
I'm just going to tell you the things that you should be looking for, that kind of thing.
That due process.
Yes. Everybody deserves due process, man.
Yeah. Everyone.
Just stop. I know you're going to say, remember, this is a apolitical show.
Yes,
so
yes.
we try,
none of that.
Republicans buy shoes too. Isn't that what Jordan said?
We're gonna stick to what's
okay.
Give me a song.
Yeah, we'll stick to Give Me a Song. So you listen to the show, you know the backstory.
Yes.
So I don't have to tell you the backstory.
Nah, I mean, but let's tell it for our audience.
You son of a bitch. You know I don't like telling the story anymore. That's you in a nutshell right there. That's
But our
you.
listeners want to know.
They
Jeff.
don't care. I do get a lot of new listeners all the time.
Yes.
So it's weird. People listen by song more than they listen to, like, I'm not the draw.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
That's shocking.
And the person, really shocking. Like, I watch the show in spite of you. Like, I just wish, how could we get a new host?
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
maybe we can go back to due process.
yeah, maybe we could. Let's not put this to a vote. Let's don't do that.
Okay.
Because if that happens,
Yes,
then
we don't want that.
No. But I do own the show.
Okay, that's a good thing.
It is it is out there. So, like, you're not getting rid of me.
Yeah.
But like I said, people listen. So sometimes we get new listeners. The song choice makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
The person sitting across from you makes a difference.
Yeah.
Sometimes not in a great way.
No.
Like certain people don't listen to certain demographics of
that also plays a factor.
of who my guests are, which is
Yeah.
very hurtful, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, it's their.
It is what it is. That's their choice.
Yeah.
But I wish you would listen to all the episodes if you're gonna, buy in.
Yeah.
Anyhow, after a show one night, guys wearing a drive-by trucker shirt.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're a big fan. And I was like, I saw them open for Tom Petty, and we talked about Tom Petty 2 weeks ago. Now it'll be that's
Running Down the Dream. Yeah.
yeah. Well, no, it was Free Falling. But
Okay.
anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, the drive-by truckers are meh. And he's like, you gotta listen to this song. And I was like, okay. And the song was far better than what they had played on stage. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I was like, oh, you gotta listen to this song, because God bless touch tunes. That's the greatest invention in a bar ever. And
Yeah.
and we did. And then like you said, like somewhere between 2 and 6 months, I called him and I was like, do you think this would be a good idea for a podcast? And he's like, yeah, I wish I would have thought of it. Which I've heard from a lot of people. I wish I would have thought of it. And it's like, well,
Yes.
had you.
Yeah. But it's mine now.
It's mine.
I got LLC on it.
You ain't getting it.
Yeah.
You can have it though for a price.
Yeah.
I will cash out. I'm easily bought.
Yeah. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out the checkbook. So there we are. And then we've been, you'll be episode 33.
All right.
Yeah. So we're almost to a year, but we take 2 week breaks after 13 episodes.
Okay.
So that's a season. So after 39, we'll take another 2 weeks off.
Okay.
So when we hit 52, we'll actually be past a year on.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
All right. Good.
But we're getting there, man.
Hopefully we'll get you some YouTube awards.
That's what I'm
hoping.
Yeah, maybe one day. The YouTube plaques and stuff like that.
that's what I'm
that
hoping
would
for
be
you.
nice. Yeah, well, it'd be cool. It'd be like my EGOT,
Hey,
the different plaques.
it's better than what I got. So.
Yeah. You've got a Grammy. Shut up.
Yeah.
You ever see what Drake did with his Grammy?
No, what did he do?
He's got like a photo somewhere, like he's using it as a doorstop.
Okay. Well,
And that sums up Drake in a nutshell, I think.
it's pretty much,
Yeah. Like I have no respect for the music industry in general or anything like that.
That's kind of a minor setback in his career, I guess.
We were talking about this with Dustin Shrum last week too, kind of talking about that stuff.
Yeah.
The A minor joke in particular.
Yeah.
So you gave me a song. What was the song you gave me?
So the song I gave you was My Song by Labi Siffre.
Yeah.
So.
And this is where I'll tell people to go check out the song. There'll be a QR code. We play 30 seconds of it.
Yeah.
We get a copyright notification, which says if you ever make money on this show, we're going to come for the money.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at with things. But please check out this song. A lot of you will know the song from the song that I gave you. But listen, this song is far superior to that song.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Yeah.
This is my song, and no one can take it away. It's been so long.
Tell me about the song. Why'd you choose it? Go ahead, start there.
Well, this songs I've been listening to for a while. It's every season of as I go through I have a season I could call my life's journey of seasons, and there's usually like a particular song or a particular thing I'm into, and this song always keeps coming back.
How did you find this song? Because it wasn't from the sample, was it?
Yes, it was from. It is from the song that you suggested.
Okay.
It is referenced in there.
Yeah, but that's where you went back and found it, and you were like, okay.
Yeah, because a lot of times when I listen to
you hadn't heard it beforehand, is what I'm saying.
No, I haven't heard it. So when and I don't want to say the other artist yet until you present it. So when the other artist...
I think we might as well just jump right in.
Okay.
So on the title of the show, it always tells you the two songs.
Okay,
So people will know now, but the song is I Wondered by Kanye West.
Yes.
And the song is built around this one.
My song.
Which is why I chose it, spoiler alert. Because when I was listening to this one, I started singing along with the chorus.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do I know this song? And then I was like... there's a website like Who Sampled the Song, which I love, because I used to be really on top of it in the 90s.
Yes,
I could almost tell you where everything came from, but now it's like near impossible. Because there's so many songs and people have gotten better, more clever about their sampling.
Yeah, they'll splice several different songs in one song, and so you have to, unless me being a musician, that's always intriguing to me when other artists sample a song. I know some people's like, oh, that's not real music. It's like, well, that's your opinion, but I think it's artistry because art has no it's not meant to be put in a box. So if you don't like it, that's fine. That's up to you. But some people like it, and it's okay.
Yeah.
We could still be friends.
Yeah, you can hate rap music for a lot of reasons, and
Yes.
sampling is one of them. I mean, if you talk about like the Godzilla sample,
Yes.
the Godzilla song from Puff
Fairmont,
Daddy was just
yeah.
Cashmere by Zeppelin. And if
Yeah.
it's the wrong Zeppelin song, shoot me, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not a Zeppelin aficionado, okay?
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's Cashmere, and it's just Cashmere. And they made fun of it on Saturday Night Live. There's a famous sketch where
Yeah.
they're like, you want to change it up? And he's like, nah, man, just let it play. And like the singing actually comes on and everything.
Yeah.
Ghostface, Motherless Child. He's
Yes.
got several songs where he just sings, like the song will be going on and he's rapping over the top of it.
That's was it Mahalia Jackson that did
Yeah.
that? Yes.
Yeah.
And it's an old gospel song because my
Right.
mom listened to a lot of Mahalia Jackson. So when he first, I was like, oh, I knew that where
Yeah.
it came from. And
Yeah, we'll jump back to the rest of the Kanye and sampling thing here, but I really just wanted to know
sorry.
when you found. No, I appreciate it because you really can't talk about this. You can no longer talk about this song without talking about the other one.
yes,
Because it's
they're intertwined so much.
at this point, yeah.
Yeah.
But this one is such a great song.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So when when the album came out, that's when I
Graduation.
Graduation.
Yeah.
Yes, when that album came out, that's when I was like, what is this song? It's like,
Yeah.
and I researched, and then that's when I found it. So it's it's a long time ago, and I listened to it the first time I listened to it, and I started. It was very emotional.
That's the exact same response I had the first time I heard
was
it.
like, man, why am I?
Like almost tearing up.
Yeah.
Like really, it
Yes.
just hits you so hard
Yes.
the first time you hear it. It's such a he's got such a tender
Yes.
voice.
And you can tell he's sincere and passionate
yeah,
about it.
and the lyrics are just like not necessarily devastating, but just so touching.
Yeah.
You know.
And he talks about, and this is a similar for me, it's like you're looking for that relationship, that dream relationship where you find the right person in your life.
And they accept you for who you are.
Yes, except for you are, and it's like you lift each other up, and that's
Yeah.
the one thing someday, that's one of the things that it hits me because, as, being a director, you're always, you're alone. You're alone at the top because you're just so always taking care of others,
Yeah.
like students or faculty, and sometimes you're just looking for that one relationship where somebody will just be able to be there for you.
Yeah, appreciate you for who you are. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We have very heavy conversations.
Yes,
all
yes,
the time.
Yes, we do.
And I feel like you're there for me, and
Yeah.
I'd like to say I'm there for you.
Yeah,
you know,
you are,
so
man. Yeah. You're a good listener, and you're
yeah.
a good vice.
I'm a terrible listener. I'm literally I'm waiting for you to stop talking so I can chime in. That's all I do. I'll put we'll be on the call. I'll just hit mute. I get up, walk away. I have it down timed pretty well at this point.
That seems par for the course.
And I have cues.
Yeah.
Like I know when you're winding down, and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, man." And then I walk back into the room, unmute, and I'm like, "Yeah, man. How do you really feel about that?" And that starts another
Yes.
20-minute, and then just hit mute again, go up. Usually, I'm chopping like food.
Okay.
Maybe I'll be watching a TV show.
Making
Sometimes
a beef Wellington or something.
not as often as I'd like.
Yeah.
Or just playing video games. I'm being a dick right now. I'm so sorry.
No.
But you want this. Everybody wants this. This is my song. I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah.
And you'll know that I'm still singing. I'm still
Yeah.
here for you.
Yes.
And it's just such a.
That's what I'm hoping to find, to be able to give
Yeah.
my song to somebody someday.
Right. No,
and
absolutely.
That's one of those things that this song just hits. And it's
Is there a particular lyric that always get? I made a few, but I want to hear what you ones that really
I
get
think
you.
the one that stood out to me, it's like I may not always sing in tune, which is
Yeah.
great because it talks about I'm not perfect,
Right.
But but the intent is there. I'm going to make mistakes.
And
in life.
that line when he says it is the best singing on the planet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's and I may not always be in tune, and it's man, you sound great.
Yes. Yes.
I watched a live video of this this morning.
Yeah.
While I was printing out
Yeah.
our lyrics and stuff like that. And I'm I'm like, I don't know if this is record. Like, I hope this isn't a recording because he just sounds perfect.
Yeah, it's
and it probably wasn't. But I'm just saying, like, man, it's there's so many things. It's like, this is my song. No one can take it away. No one can make it a lie.
Yeah.
Nothing can make it die.
Yeah.
And just little things like that.
But then he shows his vulnerability when he says, "It's been so long since someone can make me cry."
Yeah.
So it's right then and there. He's saying, like,
and I have that highlighted as well.
That's a situation I look at. It's like he's looking for that vulnerability, but I don't want to open up to people,
right,
to be able to cry, because when you're crying in front of someone, you're showing a lot of vulnerability, so it can be taken in several ways.
And he's a guy too.
Yes.
And this is in the 70s.
Yes.
So if he's crying in front of somebody in the 70s, probably somebody's making fun of him.
Yeah. And so no, you're right. And that's the thing that it's, I appreciate so much of the artistry, and it's a simple song, but there's so many layers to it.
Yeah.
That, I could see why Kanye chose this song.
I wonder where he got, maybe from his mom or something, but like that sample, this song was never released as a single.
Yeah.
Like, you had to have been looking for it.
Yeah.
Or somebody had to have known it. That's the thing about sampling that always gets me. It's like, how did you find this song in particular, Yeah, it's such a beautiful song. It's such great lyrics, and it's beautiful. So let's talk about, how do you say his name? Labi?
Yeah, Labi or Labe. So please, audience, don't kill me if I'm I never could find
Labi.
Labi.
Yeah,
so.
It might be. I don't know.
There's no disrespect to him either.
No, absolutely. We don't know. And neither one of us took a second to listen to somebody else say it.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah.
So maybe we do deserve something.
Yeah.
This was off his third album, Crying, Laughing, Loving, Lying. Mm-hmm. Have you listened to other songs by him?
No, I have not. This is, I would say I need to, but this is the song that I love by him, and it's just kind of like, when it comes to listening to music, I have like a this is one of on my playlist of like songs like I go back to every time.
Like your favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah. This might end up on my favorites before it's all said and done.
Yeah.
There's another famous song that has a sample by him, and I was reading up on him and everything else.
Okay.
There's not to say there wasn't a lot. He released 4 albums.
Yes.
Then he took like a 10-year break.
Yeah.
And then he released another 4 albums. He came back because of the apartheid.
Yeah.
And he wanted to say something during that time, and so he came back and recorded more music. And then he's like an activist now.
Yeah.
He's probably retired, but like wrote books on activism and stuff like that, and being a black musician in Europe and stuff. He's not American.
Yeah.
He's English or from the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
The other song is a sample is "My Name Is" by Eminem. And I'll play you the original version, and you never hear it. And then halfway through the song, it is literally "My Name Is," and it's so weird. This other song, and I'm like, how did you find? And it's Dr. Dre, so it wasn't that surprising because he's really good at finding these obscure samples.
Yes.
But it was just kind of like, how in the world did you think of taking this
and making it into a whole production?
Well, I mean, the "My Name Is" beat is like one of the quirkiest beats on the planet. It's like meh, 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 and it just circles. And it's
Slim Shady.
And it's the middle part of this song that has nothing to do with either of those two, with that theme at all. And then just in the middle of it, it's just that "My Name Is."
Okay, now I'm gonna have to go back and listen.
Well, when we're cleaning up here, because we got to clean up, like we're not in a studio, so we don't have this all set up all the time. I had to break it down and put it back together, which is why the sign's busted. I know. So we'll have a new sign soon. All right, like just bear with me, okay? I'm like
maybe
in the middle
one of those sponsors will send some money.
Maybe the big thing is that just I'm in the middle of a wedding, so it's like I am just preoccupied with wedding things.
That takes precedence.
Yeah, so we've been knocking out tons of episodes. So like I'm talking about last week's episode with Shrum, but I recorded it yesterday, so that kind of thing. So in terms of being a musician, he was like a folk artist. He was, soft rock, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. This was his third album. He released like I said, like 7 or 8. And then that was kind of it. There's not very good musician. Great voice. It's just not my cup of tea. But this song is amazing.
Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense to talk about our next artist, which we've already spoiled.
Yes.
So, what was the song I gave you?
I Wonder. Yes.
I Wonder by everyone's friend Kanye West. And we're going to refer to him as Kanye West. I know his name is not Kanye West at this point, or he doesn't want to be called Kanye West, but this is when he was still Kanye West.
Yes.
And
I like that Kanye.
Your dreams come true, and I wonder if you know what it means, what it means. And I wonder if you know what it means, what it means. And I wonder if you know what it means.
Yeah, well, the old Kanye. We miss the old
oh,
Kanye.
yeah.
Not the new Kanye.
Yeah. Yeah. That's,
You've heard that before, right?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Kanye thing.
I was going to say something, but I'm like, nah, probably.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Whatever we're thinking about this. So let's start with you were clearly familiar with the song.
Yes, very. Yeah,
Okay.
like this song too. The one thing I like. I'm glad you chose this song because this takes a different direction than his. So the first song talks more about my relationships and
Yes.
looking for that right person to share his song with.
Yeah.
But then Kanye takes it to a different level, which is of talks about self-doubt, you know,
Yeah.
dreams. What was the other one? I wrote it down. And search for meaning in his life.
Yeah.
And like, you know, people saying, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. And it's like, you know, I'm going to defy all the odds. And that's one thing I like about it, because that's another song that resonates with me, because people say, oh, Matt, you can never be this. Or
Yeah.
Jeff, you can't never be that.
They're pretty
Why do
right.
you even
When
think
they
about-
when people tell me I can't do something, usually they're like 99% right. To be honest
okay.
with
Well,
you,
that's-
they're like, you'll never do this, and I'm like, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you. I jokingly told a few comics on the podcast, I don't know if you caught this or not,
Yeah.
but it was like, if somebody just would have told me, like, you're not funny and you need to quit,
Yeah.
I'd have shut it down.
Yeah.
And
But you
what's-
haven't.
No, I haven't. No one's told me. And one of the things I do want to bring up is you were there from, like, day one.
Yeah.
Remember, we were doing, like, the third rail at, like, midnights on a
Yes.
Friday, and
Yeah.
you and Scott had come out
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah.
And watched me with like these really early jokes.
Yeah.
And some of them were funny and some of them weren't.
Yeah, but that's
like,
okay.
But no, but like I always had something that worked on stage almost every single
Yeah,
time.
you
And
did.
like I didn't have like an entire, a great, 5. I didn't have a type 5 is what we'd call it. But
Yeah.
it's like I always had something. And it was just like, yeah, I want to keep doing this. But you were like from day one, man. Like really, like I really appreciate that because like people stop coming to see you after a while,
Yeah.
which is more than fair.
Yeah.
Because at first you're like, oh, come out,
Yeah.
First you don't want to tell anybody you're doing it. That's the big thing. It's
Yeah.
like you go and you just go. Or some people are like, oh no, I'm going to do it and you need to come. Like I was never one of those people. I'm like, all right, let me get something,
Uh-huh.
and now I'll tell you I'm doing it. Because I didn't want to. And then so like, but you guys came out, man, and like I really, really appreciated it because, and you
Thanks,
gave like
bro.
positive feedback. It wasn't like you need to quit,
No.
which I would have done.
No, my thing is this: like, real friends will tell you the truth.
Yeah.
No, and your friends who are not obviously won't tell you the truth. They'll tell you what you hear. Real friends always tell you what you need to hear, and I
Yeah.
always want that type of relationship with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So. If you're always telling me what I want to hear, I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't trust you.
Yeah.
But if you're like, hey, I know this is hard for you to hear, when someone says that, I'm like, no, bring it on.
Right.
Because you're telling me something I need to fix.
Yeah.
So,
I really just want to be surrounded by sycophants and yes men, honestly. And had you said anything contradictory to what I was doing at the time, like you wouldn't be sitting across from me at this point.
Well,
just for the record.
yeah.
Because if you would have said anything contrary to like you should keep going,
yeah.
I would have just
Yeah.
why didn't Jeff call anymore?
Well, I'm glad I cashed a check then.
Yeah, well, that's the point of the check, buddy.
Yeah.
No, but
the
I
other
did want to
viewers-
take it. Yeah. So I wonder is on graduation.
Yes.
came out in 2007. Officially a single. There's no video for this song.
Yeah.
Well played. Everybody knows it. Graduation is the pinnacle of Kanye. Some people say it's my dark twisted fantasy. I don't agree. I really don't agree.
Nah.
And I think it's really telling on what version of Kanye West people like.
Yeah.
It's like a reflection of them just as much as a reflection of. But if you say anything after graduation, I'm kind of like, oh, really? If you say 808s and Heartbreak, it's like you just had a rough life. I'm sorry. Like, you know, everything
that
sucked.
album did not resonate with me. His first two albums.
Well, that was that was immediately after his mom died.
Yeah.
So that was it, and it was just really like I'm sad and life sucks.
And that's I get it. You know, but that's just, you know, that was a season in my life, you know, probably the same season.
Yeah.
You're like, some people, if it got the message through, that's great.
No, I love depressing music.
Yeah.
So it was fine.
Well, hence the Depeche Mode and all that. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, that was a very techno-heavy, auto-tuned. I wish there was more rapping on it. I guess it would be my only complaint.
We can always go to Prodigy. You know?
I'm the fire starter.
Yes.
I'm the instigator. Yeah, absolutely. MTV pushed electronica on everybody one day.
Yes.
Just one day.
Yeah.
They're like, it was the Chemical Brothers and it was Prodigy, and they're like, these are the two big bands coming out of Europe. And I listened to Firestarter and I was like, I didn't have the system to appreciate Firestarter.
Yeah.
Because I was just like listening to it out of like TV, you know, TV speakers. So you didn't get the bass. You just hear this like whiny British dude saying he's the Firestarter, and you look at him, and you're like, maybe you start fires.
Yeah.
Like, probably you just kind of sit in the corner and complain about things.
They had several hits. No, they had a few hits.
The lead singer passed away like recently. Like, I think something happened to him. But anyway.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Chemical Brothers, they were all right. I do like a handful of their songs, but it was like, just what are you doing, MTV? Like, just stop.
Yeah.
You know, like we're the king
reality
makers.
Shows now.
Right, they don't even try.
They don't even do music.
So, what are some? So let's talk about. I wonder. We'll talk about graduation in a minute, because we can, and then we'll talk about Kanye.
Yeah.
As much as possible, I guess.
Yeah.
We have a lot of heavy conversations about artists. A lot. Way too much.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about Kanye before, but you know, not on a podcast. He wholesale takes my life. Like he takes the chorus, he modifies the chorus, the beat is the piano loop, and he just puts drums over it. And he didn't really do much else with it. And he talks about like people dreaming their whole life, and you know, and he's really talking about like some woman or some girl who's trying to live her dream.
Yeah.
But then she ends up giving it up at the end, or maybe she does. You're talking about like trade it all for a husband and some kids. You ever wonder what it really means? You wonder if you'll ever find your dream. That's how he closes it.
Yeah.
So he's not really. A lot of people think he's talking about himself, and in some cases he is, but really he's just kind of talking about like this anonymous person who's trying to live their dream. And so many people, when they're young, that's when they try, you know, and then they do find like a husband or a wife, and they have kids, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, then they shut it down, and it's like, I guess, you know, and they end up somewhere, and then they always wonder what could be. And that's where you get this, I wonder what could have happened, you know?
And I think he talks about it in the song, like how many women have traded their dreams for a husband. Right. And it's this life that they thought they were happy with. Right. And I was like, wow. You know, and it can go both ways too. Yeah. And it's just like, well, this is what society says I'm supposed to do. Yeah. And it's not learning to like, hey, follow your dreams. And if this is the next season of your life where you feel like you're being led, then do it. But yeah, I don't know if he was really thinking that way, but that's how I took it. No, I'm 100% sure like he is. Yeah. People undersell Kanye's artistic, because a lot of like late Kanye, he's not writing anymore. Yeah. He's not really producing anymore. No. But like at graduation, he's like locked in. Yeah. Like I said, this is pinnacle. This is pinnacle Kanye, because everything is kind of downhill from there. Yeah. He starts bringing in more rappers. He starts bringing in more producers. Yes. You know, he's auto-tuning a lot. Yeah. The thing he's like, you say the most Kanye thing of anything is like you say, I think I'm never wrong. And he's like shouting this. You say, you know, like,
you know what? Maybe you're right. You know, it's like right at the beginning. It would be here. Oh, no, it isn't. It's
It is right there.
Well, no, it's when he's
You
talking
say-
about. Yeah, you. No, that's the other one. It's you say, I think I'm right, and you know what? Maybe you're right. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, and but he's been waiting on this his whole life. These dreams keeping him up at night. I
Yep.
used to have dreams of doing stand up before I was doing stand up.
Well, okay.
Like literally, I was like, I'd be up on stage and like wake up and I'm like, I need to do this.
Okay.
Like a lot of the jokes that I tell are compulsion. Like
Okay.
somebody asked me like when do you know you should be telling a joke on stage? I'm like, I won't be able to sleep or think about it until I say it on stage. Like
That's
I have
real.
to tell it. Like,
That's real.
I'm like, it's the dumbest, it'll be the dumbest joke ever. But like I have to get it out of my system kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that in this version of Kanye.
Okay.
Because I don't think he really had he knew he was going to be Kanye West.
He was going to be famous.
He was going to, but not I don't think he ever thought he'd get to where he was.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of the spin out. But yeah, this version is like a normal human being who just figured it out, you know?
Yeah, that's the one thing you could say throughout his whole career, he always strived, regardless of what's against what everybody told him what to do. Like, whoever thought Kanye would put out a gospel album.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, and I listened to the gospel album, and most people's like, "Oh, that's fake." And I was like, "Well, you don't know. I mean, at this point,
He had
it's-
Jesus Walks from the get go.
that was that was the beginning.
Yeah, I mean that was
the
on
beginning.
college
Because
dropout.
he's always wrestled with the notion of God.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And that's the thing. People, if you think Christians are perfect, they're not.
Right.
They're still humans. There's nobody's perfect. So
Right.
so everybody has their shortcomings, and that's why I keep trying to tell people, stop putting people on pedestals, because nobody is perfect.
Right. I always jokingly say this around people, and I don't think they know what I mean when I say it. I'm like, there's only one perfect person who walked this earth, and they put him up on a cross, you know, and then people get mad at me.
Yeah.
But I always like to say it, and they're,
I mean, there's some people.
they're, you know, be as religious as you want. Graduation is the third album from Kanye West.
Yeah.
Came out in 2007. It went head-to-head with Curtis by 50 Cent.
Yes.
There was a famous battle where 50 Cent was convinced that he was going to outsell Graduation.
Not really.
Misunderstood the state of rap music completely.
Yeah.
Curtis isn't a good album either. That he really didn't have any big hits on there. Nothing great.
As-
And
I like it shows power, but that's
right, yeah. Well, I mean, he's doing well for himself now.
Yeah.
Better than Kanye.
Yes. He understands the game.
He does understand it. Kanye West was born in Georgia, moved to Chicago as a young kid.
Yeah.
Spent some time in China because his mom is a professor of English.
Yes.
She
Was.
famously passed away 6 months after this album came out.
Yeah.
Getting plastic surgery done.
Down in Mexico. I
Down
think,
in
yeah.
Mexico. Yeah. Signs that Kanye was going to be Kanye. In 2006, he jumped on stage at the MTV
Taylor
European Awards. Not the
Not
Taylor
this-
Swift. No, this is pre-Taylor Swift.
Oh, okay.
Because Touch the Sky didn't win the award, and somebody else did, and he went up there and was complaining that Touch the Sky didn't win. So
Okay.
So
wow.
this, and then he eventually did do the Taylor Swift thing,
Okay.
where he was hammered out of his mind at the Video Music Awards.
Yeah.
Beyonce didn't win, Taylor Swift did, and he jumped the stage and said,
Yeah.
Wu-Tang's for the children. Which was a far better moment than what Kanye did.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
ODB, rest in peace, ODB.
Yeah.
He releases a boatload of albums after Graduation. My Dark Twisted Fantasy is considered the best. I fell off right around that time. Yeezus was the line in the sand. I couldn't do it anymore. First off, he called it Yeezus, which annoyed me.
Yeah.
And then Bound 2 is on there, and that's
Yeah.
when he had Kim on.
Yeah.
Kim was around at this
Yeah.
point. And in between there, Watch the Throne.
Bound was good, but it was like, yeah.
I hate that song.
Yeah. Well, if you listen, when what was the group? It was Ponderosa. It was something. The group. It was a 4-person harmony group.
Yeah.
So I
You knew the background.
The sound.
I didn't, and I was just like, no, I
Yeah.
can't do this. The video was annoying. They were like on a bike, and the CGI effects were going around them. Hated every minute of it. Watch the Throne came out in the middle of this.
Yes.
Some of Watch the Throne is some of my favorite music ever.
Yeah, Jay-Z and Kanye.
Yeah, Otis was a great song.
Yeah.
The song about them being in Paris.
Yeah. Yes. Don't say it. You'll get jumped.
Right.
Yeah.
By who?
Well, just
You are the person who famously I tell
fool
people
around,
this.
find out.
Right. Well, today's the day. When
We'll
you're
be
like,
right back.
Yeah. Where you were like, you can come to the cookout. You can't bring a dish, but you can come to the cookout.
Yeah.
He goes to Wyoming and puts out 7 albums.
Yes,
including
and it's a studio up there.
Daytona.
Yeah.
From Pusha T, which is
was very good at
oh,
that.
I love that
That's
album.
very good.
Kids see or ghosts. People see ghosts with him and Kid Cudi.
Yeah. Kids
He
see
does
ghosts
Nasir.
Yep.
Gets an album. There's the whatever I can't remember. That's not Jesus is King? It's Donda, isn't it? That comes out during that session or no? But anyway, and so we're like 2017, 2018. Kim and him break up right around this time because he comes out against abortion.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the Kardashians are not in line with that.
Yeah.
They take his kids. They get a lot of money from him. And then he
they need more money.
And he starts to lose his mind at this point.
Yeah.
And so he endorses Trump.
Yeah.
In 2016.
Yeah.
Pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, it did.
So like Beyonce and Jay-Z don't return his calls at this point. And he's complaining about it a lot. And then somehow he gets hooked up with like a lot of anti-Semitic people.
Yeah.
Around like 2021, 2022. And here we are. Goes on these crazy, outrageous Twitter rants.
Yeah, it's it.
And it's just awful. He put out 2 albums recently. One was called Bully. The other one I'm not going to say. And he did put out Donda 2 in the middle. So he's put out like 3 albums in the last like 6 months.
Yeah.
All of them are garbage.
Yeah.
Vulture's garbage.
Yeah, I
Vulture
didn't like
2
that.
is garbage. Just terrible. He's using AI voices. He's using AI beats. And it's just like, I don't get it. But then they say he's like strung out on nitrous or something. You know, he's got like some severe like nitrous issues. He sued his dentist recently for hooking him up with all the nitrous because you got to have a dentist.
Yeah, you got to.
This is the most besides having like a hyperbolic chamber, which Michael did.
Yeah.
And having a guy who was literally putting him into comas. Like you had your own anesthesiologist on staff.
Yeah.
Like those are like rich world. Like people talk about coke and stuff, but there's like other. There's
different
levels. Yeah, this is like
people
top
doing
tier.
blue light,
Yeah.
blue light and red light in their face, and it's all that stuff in.
But to have a nitrous dealer in the same apartment complex, so you can just go get the hookup.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what do you do? Well, I used to be a dentist. What do you do now? I'm Kanye's nitrous dealer, you know, or I'm Michael Jackson's anesthesiologist, you know, like the level of wealth that hit. At one point, he was a billionaire. No one thinks he is now.
Yeah.
Had to deal with Adidas. It's
he lost a lot on that. See, you mentioned he started losing his mind. I recently, I'm going to say, this was already there. This was already there. I'm going to say, I think he had a lot of brain trauma from that car accident.
Okay. So to bring that up, Kanye. So we didn't talk about the beginning of Kanye. Kanye is a producer in Chicago.
Yeah.
Gets hooked up with Rockefeller Records.
Yeah.
Produces a song for Foxy Brown, then gets introduced to Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And he's actually like ghost producing D-Dot.
Yeah.
Who was part of the Bad Boy group. And then, Jay-Z finds out about him. He produces songs on the Blueprint.
Yep.
He produces H to the Izzo.
Yep.
Which is one of the most clever beats ever because he takes Explosive by Dr. Dre.
Yes.
And flips them and then makes and takes Jackson 5's, oh God, is it ABC?
Yeah, ABC.
Yeah. So he flipped the drums from Explosive. He takes the beat from ABC, and H to the Izzo is one of the catchiest songs ever.
Yeah.
And then and they didn't want to sign him You know this, right? Like,
No,
Rockefeller did not want to sign him. They just wanted him as a producer. He produces for Beanie Siegel. He produces for Memphis Bleak. He's just him and Just Blaze are the in-house producers, which was a great combo in the early 2000s. Just Blaze is amazing.
Yeah.
And so he's writing and he's making records and stuff like that. And he's like, the Dame Dash was like, fine, I'll sign you. And the only reason they signed him is so he didn't leave as a producer.
Yeah.
They didn't care one bit if he ever rapped.
Yeah.
And he gets in a car wreck, producing his mixtape. Instead of going home and resting, he goes to the studio and creates a song called Through the Wire.
Yep.
Because his mouth is wired shut.
Yeah.
And that is such a great song.
Yes. And it just shows you the level of intelligence that he has.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
ambition and drive too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
he wanted. It's kind of like you talked about how you dream about something and you're like, I got to tell that joke.
Right.
I think it's kind of one of those things. The same thing with him. He tells that dream. I mean, he gets that dream, and then all of a sudden, I got to go to the studio right away because if I don't get this out, it's it's going to be forever lost.
There's a lot of ways to getting on being clever in rap music. Like either having like a clever idea, like 50 Cent's like biggest song before like Dr. Dre found him was How to Rob. I don't know if you remember that song or not, but he's sitting there like he raps all these rappers' names and how he'd stick them up, you know. And he says my favorite. There's so many clever lines in there, but he's like, I'll rob Boys to Men like I'm Michael Bivins, and so Michael Bivins is one of the members of New Edition, and he did rob Boys to Men, and he's like, I'll rob them too. Or he's like, I saw Blackstreet on a back street in a black Jeep. I said, get out one at a time. And then he goes, do you really think you'd be this rich? Do you ever think you have this? And that's like one of their songs, you know? And it's just, it was so clever. And it made everybody mad.
But 50 has a way of doing that with people.
Well, and Kanye's just as clever.
Yes.
And that's what people didn't understand back in these days. It's like, You Can't Tell Me Nothing is like the funniest song ever.
Yeah.
And he's like, I dreamed I couldn't do this. I woke up and bought another Jesus piece. And I was just like, what a crazy opening, you know? Through the Wire was very clever.
That was a good one. That's one of my favorites too.
Yeah. And then, he had Jesus Walks, Touch the Sky. He had all these songs that were just like great and great beats.
Yeah.
And, he self-produced. He would just sit in the studio and then it just...
Well, you talk about
I miss the old Kanye.
Yeah, the thing I appreciate a lot is his orchestration of music as a band director. There's a lot of Kanye songs you can you can do a whole Kanye show.
Yeah, absolutely. Because as a band, as like a marching band,
because the way he designs music, it's very approachable for somebody to transcribe that and be able to do it on the instruments. Some of my kids request, like, can we do all of the lights? Like that.
And there was like another one that was such a big hit, you know, and such a good song. Touch on this just like one last time, and then we'll talk about it. But you had some notes, and I'd love to hear them. This was his attempt at making City of Flashing Lights by U2, which is a stadium song.
Yeah.
So this was like an attempt for and I watched a video of him singing this live, and the crowd was just shouting, and the wonder, like the chorus. And it's kind of weird if you go back and you think of the other song, you think of My Life, or, my song, not My Life, but My Song. And it's this tender song, and then you have 50,000 people shouting it. I hope that Kanye took care of him. I hope the record label took care of him. Like, I hope this guy got paid because, I hope he got paid is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, that's why I'm
looking for your notes. Did you lose them?
Yeah.
You did lose them?
No, I did not lose them. Okay. So one of the things that I liked about I Wonder is the legacy and impact that he left on the community, just because people talking about Dream. Also, I think a lot of things too, it influenced the fashion industry as well.
Well, I mean, we didn't even talk about that at all. One of the things he did for this particular album is he brought in like Japanese anime.
Yeah.
And I think that and I can't speak on behalf of Black culture at all, and I'm not, but there's a lot of kids who love anime.
Yeah.
In the inner cities.
Yeah.
And I taught, 13 years in the inner city. And I think it was like a green light. Like you can be a big fan of Dragon Ball Z. You can like these things. You can be open about it.
Well, and I think we go not, and this is my one time. I know you told me that we are all not monolithic. Okay. So black people like anime.
They do.
Black people like country.
Yeah.
Black people like all sorts of things.
Absolutely.
It's just stop. Just we like the same thing as other cultures. Like we like other cultures as well, besides our own culture.
No, absolutely.
And I think that's the one thing. He put it out there like, oh, you can be into this and be into that, and just made it.
Well,
okay.
he wasn't gangster rap, and like I said, this was like that time where, you have like a Tyler the Creator, you have like Drake, you have these people who clearly studied under Kanye.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
And, it's like, here's the things that I like. And instead of just talking about guns, violence, drugs, or whatever, so Two Live Crew kind of stuff or NWA stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to talk about what I know and what I do. And I'm not going to make up a phony rapper to try and be like just because I'm very clever with a pen, So, absolutely, man. Like, and then, do you listen to Kanye now?
I don't. I listen to his old stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff he's not. I just, my thing, my prayer. I pray for him because he needs help. Yeah, and that's one of the things most people say. But I'm like,
Is he with us in 10 years?
Who knows?
If you a betting person, if I said $5, 10 years, would you take the over or under?
I don't know. That's
if you're a betting man and I gave you a $5 bet and I said 10 years, would you take the over or the under? I'd take the over personally.
I think he might be around.
Okay, so you take the over as well. So we wouldn't have a bet. We both agree to that.
Yeah, I think he'll be around, and that's. I would be shocked if he wasn't around in 10 years.
I don't think I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, I would understand it completely.
Yeah.
But I would hope not.
Yeah.
Do you think he turns this around at all and gets like people back on his side?
I mean, you know what? I mean, like I said, people didn't believe he can do a gospel album and he can find God. I think he can find God again.
Yeah. I think he still believes.
I think he's just going. He's like I said. There's mental health.
Yeah.
And that's in general.
Mm-hmm.
In general, we have to take mental health seriously.
We talk about it a lot here on this podcast.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. That's the thing I'm concerned with. That I hope somebody is in his corner, just speaking to him, like, "Hey."
But I think he's hinted at that, like people. I mean, he's posted like screenshots of people being like, we can just drug you and put you away.
Yeah.
Like one of his like one of the Kardashians people or somebody in his circle, like literally was just like, we can just drug you and put you away. So he's probably terrified of all that.
Yeah, but that's not how you deal with it.
But no, that's a threat. That's not
that's not helping anybody.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
And that's the thing. It's like somebody's like, showing some compassion,
right?
And that's the thing. And but compassion, but still being like stern with them. And if that's the thing that needs. That's what he needs. That's just from what I'm outside person looking in. I could be totally off, but I think that's what he needs.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think we covered all things Kanye.
Yeah.
Got a little interruption here.
That's okay.
We're at Margarita's restaurant in Belleville. I do want to shout out drinking Mexican Coke, which is pure cane sugar.
Yeah.
The original
Coke recipe.
Yeah, the original Coke recipe. So good here. Thank you for coming on, man. I think we've covered everything. I wish we had talked about my song a little bit more, but there's not. It's a great song.
It's pretty straightforward.
Right. And it's such a great song. And please go check that out. Between the two songs, please go check out my song.
Yeah.
And then if you don't want to listen to Kanye, really, I thought of other songs, but really I just kept coming back to this, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and then we haven't had a chance to talk about Kanye on the podcast, and
Yeah.
it's like, if I'm going to talk Kanye, like we talk about him
Yeah.
a lot. We've talked about him a lot.
Yeah.
In the
And
year,
then
over the years.
And it's more so of just like, we don't, he needs help. It's the thing to come back. He needs
Yeah.
help. They need to, hopefully somebody's getting him the right mental health support.
I mean, they're clearly not.
No. And that's the sad part. And it's just like now, I mean, he's on this tangent of a whole bunch of other things, which is like, I don't support at all.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
and
he's anti-Semitic. He literally released a song called "Hail Hitler" a week ago.
And I'm just like, gosh. Yeah.
Oh man, it's
sad.
Yeah, it's sad.
very
There's
sad.
There's no other way to describe it. It's sad. It's like you've thrown it all away.
Yeah.
And like I can't listen to him
Yeah.
at all, and haven't been able to for a while
Yeah.
now. And I love early Kanye. I love College
Yeah.
Dropout. I
Yeah.
love Early Graduation. I love or Graduation.
Yeah.
Early. What was it? Early Late Registration.
Late
College.
registration.
Yeah, College Dropout. Late Registration. Graduation.
Yeah.
A great trilogy of
Yeah.
albums.
Those are great. And
He's produced so many songs for other people.
yeah.
I mean,
But just like I said earlier, like as far as him on my playlist, no.
we'll close with this. Before the one thing, the guy is so funny. Like his lyrics are funny.
Yeah.
He's clever, gold digger.
Yeah.
Just a great twist of
Yeah.
a Ray Charles song.
Yeah.
And then he has no sense of humor whatsoever. And South Park famously had an episode where he just couldn't understand the gay fish joke. And then I watched a clip like a day or two ago where somebody was pointing out all the lyrics he'd said about South Park since that episode.
Yeah.
And there's like 4 or 5 songs where he's just like, and screw these South Park people. And he's like, I'll kill him if I ever see him and stuff like that. He's so
Yeah.
mad. So the joke is simple. It's like, do you like fish sticks? And he's like, yeah. He's like, oh, then you're a gay fish. And it's just such a dumb joke.
Yeah.
And it's like, and Kanye in story never gets it.
Yeah.
And he's like, what am I? He's like, fashionista. He's like, legend producer, genius, producer, rapper, gay fish, ? And he's just like,
Yeah.
he never gets the punchline to the joke. And it's just, but it's so dead on accurate.
Yeah.
Which is the sad thing about it. Like in hindsight, they nailed it. South Park doesn't miss.
No. Well, and that, like I said, you remember when I talked about that car crash earlier?
Yeah.
That
And maybe you might be onto something,
because your brain, it was a bad accident.
It was a bad
and
accident.
So how much brain trauma
it broke his
affected-
jaw. I mean, it really messed him up.
and
so.
your brain is bouncing around,
Yeah.
and so that to me, it's like his ability might have been affected to where things aren't just like he
you're
doesn't
dating
catch on those subtleties
Yeah. You dated a Kardashian and married a Kardashian, had kids with a Kardashian.
Yeah.
You get what you get.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That you made a choice.
Yep.
You made a terrible, terrible choice, but you made it, and you're going to get what you get.
Yep. Lamar Odom.
R.I.P. I mean, he's not dead, but he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the same thing with Kanye. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah. It was really a pleasure to be on here.
Yeah, no, I was going to have you on at some point. It just kind of worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to tell people your socials. Do you want people to find you?
No.
Okay, well, never mind then. I'm going to close out.
But you
we
might
have stickers.
see me You might see me
Yeah,
around town.
You might see him around town. Yeah, he does play with bands on occasion. If you
Yeah.
see him, say hello. I'm going to give you the Skunk Domestication Farm of Ohio sticker.
Oh yes.
I don't know if you caught the episode talking about the Skunk Domestication Farm of Ohio.
No, I missed that one.
Okay, so that's in front of the Emily Heron episode. That was the sponsor of that show. We made stickers. We're gonna make stickers for the other, but you gotta want them.
I love it.
You gotta want them, and then we'll make a set. We'll sell them as a set. That's our plan.
Okay.
And then the other sticker that we have, so you can hit me up and get those stickers. I will mail them to your house. I've mailed them to California. I've mailed them to Canada. I don't know how they got across the border these days, but they did.
That is awesome.
I know. And then we have show stickers. Hit me up for show stickers. They are free. I will send them anywhere. I'll cover postage for you. Just put them somewhere where people can see them and tell them what it's about. Thank you so much, Banks. These are yours.
I appreciate you, Jeff. Thank
if you made it this far, like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your pets. And then follow us on all our socials.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you so much. And have a great... Oh, and real quick, I'm at Jeffrey Phipps. I do want to be followed, and I want you to keep up with me. JEFFERY PHIPPS is everywhere. Instagram is Jeffrey_Phipps on Instagram. Jeffrey Phipps on Facebook. You'll see a picture of me. I'm easily identifiable. I have a unique look.
He friended me.
Yeah, I did. You son of a bitch. Oh, man. All right. So we had a big feud that neither one of us would friend the other. And I needed to talk to you about something. And Becky's like, why don't you just friend him? Like, will you just stop this? I'm like, but I'm winning. But you friended me on Instagram before. I just hadn't friended you on Facebook.
Facebook was the one.
Because famously, I told people that I didn't friend them on Facebook. And you were like, okay, well, then I'm not going to friend you. And I finally had to break down and friend you on Facebook. And you deleted your Facebook.
Yeah.
So you got me twice.
Yeah, you
got me twice.
There was no more. It was like, oh, okay, well.
I can leave now.
I can leave now. Yeah, pretty much.
You son of a bitch. All right. Tell your friends, tell your pets. Thank you so much for coming on, buddy.
No problem.
And have a great day. Thank you.
Take care. Yes, don't say it. You'll get jumped. Fool around, find out.
I would just lie. Like, just what are you doing, MTV? Like, just stop.
Yeah.
You know.